Hello and good evening everyone, good evening if you're going to join me live, good evening if you're using catch up, or maybe you've just randomly come across me on the internet, who would know. My name is Miriam Freer. Hi Suzanne, lovely to have you here. My name's Miriam. I work with an amazing company called ENJO and I'm based as part in the UK as part of the ENJO UK team. So what is ENJO? ENJO is all about chemical free cleaning, and tonight we're going to talk about that a little bit more as well. So thank you for coming along, lovely to have you ladies. I almost forgot my board. Who would have believed it? But look, this is what we're going to talk about tonight. It is episode 15 already, so soon. My goodness, I can hardly remember time before Mondays with Miriam. It feels so much an established part of my routine now. But we often talk to you about zone packs, and you can see those on the board behind me. They are the essentials that we put our fibres into so that you have what you need to clean an area. But today we're going to spend some time talking about all those things which are outside of those zone packs, which is why it's called, cunningly, more than zone packs. All right, so that's what it's about tonight. But first of all, let's all talk about what we have been using this week. And first of all, before all of that, what an amazing day. Who has been out in the sunshine? I hope so. I hope you've seen at least a little bit of it. Blue skies in Orkney. More washing than I could possibly pile through the washing machine after the somewhat dreary days over the weekend. It's just beautiful. So I hope, whether you are watching this live or later, that you have had some great sunshine today, wherever you are. Right, on to products that you have been using this week or today. So I'm going to tell you about the one I've been using today, because Rebecca particularly loves being outside in as much mess as possible, and therefore she comes in, uses the loo, washes her hands in the sink, and it looks like you've put a dog in there. All right, it is so dirty, it's unbelievable. But this little Herbert, you might recognise this. This is part of that taster kit that we have got on offer this month. This has been my godsend today. You've been enjoying the helpers. You haven't got any sunshine, Zoe. Unbelievable. It's gorgeous out there. Really enjoying the helpers. Oh, the calcium dissolver. Oh, Suzanne, it's such a great one, isn't it? It's just awesome. Honestly, when you get a little bit of calcium dissolver going, you wonder how you managed beforehand. But these two here and this little taster kit, these are just awesome, because the girls' jobs, which they love, obviously, is to clean the bathrooms. And I love it because I can send Emily and Rebecca in there and they're not going to have anything harmful that's going to cause any difficulties for them, and they can just whiz in and clean the bathrooms. Hi, nice to see you, Anne. But the problem is that as soon as Rebecca has washed her hands, because she's been out making some essential mud pile, then it needs at least a bit of a wipe round. So that's what this is ideal for. All right, so that has been this week. Do you ever have moments where you just fall in love with ENJO all over again? And after I did the sink for the umpteenth time today, all right, I just thought, oh, it's just so easy. I love this. It's so simple. Fibre and something to dry behind. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So if any of you have been using any other ENJO, then I would love to hear all about it. All right, I really would. And as I said, today we are going to talk about some of those other things outside of our zone packs. Hello, beautiful Bev. Because what happens is, when we've maybe come along to a demo and we've seen you, then it's impossible for us to get all our fibres out and show you, because you would just go, I can't deal with it, it's too much. And so we tend to usually start, as you know, with showing you maybe the butter test and talking a bit about the kitchen zone, and then we may go and talk a little bit about the bathroom, and then a little bit about the living and about the floors. And by then, often, we don't see you again, which makes us very sad. But also it means that then when I see you ages later, I pull something out like, let me see, oh, out of the plethora of loveliness. I pull something out like this and you'll go, what's that? Never seen that before. And so today we're just going to talk about some of those items which you may now be a bit more familiar with because I bleat on about them all the time. But if you're not, then I want to talk to you about the things outside the zone packs. We're not going to have time to do it all, you lucky people. You get to escape after half an hour, all right? But we will take some time just over the weeks to have a look at a bit of those. I want to talk and finish off as well, talking about our helpers next week. We started last week and we really had a great chat about the laundry liquid. But next week I'm going to talk about dishwasher liquid as well, okay, because that's another thing that's close to my heart. Oh, litter tray as well. Oh, you learn something new every week. Glad to hear it, Wendy Hartley. Very important. Right, so let's start by talking about what we mean by the kitchen zone pack. All right, so as I said, we put and we learnt our mistake because we didn't used to do it like this. Hello, lovely Jill over there in Southwell-on-Sea. I hope the sun is shining over there for you too. We learnt quite early on that we were making a big, profound mistake in how we were showing you ENJO. And we used to have something called a fresh start kit. And some of you, like me, like my mum who's on there, right, started with a fresh start kit because that's what we thought was a great way of sharing ENJO with you. And what we tried to do is we tried to give you a little bit of everything because we love it all. But we realised that it wasn't enough to get the jobs done. And so, unless we saw you lots of times, you were all a little bit dissatisfied, quite rightly. Right, so now we put things into zone packs. So this is the kitchen zone pack. All right, has 5 items in it. I'm only clasping 4. Right, here, 5 items. And this one costs you £103 discounted. That works out 66p a week to clean your kitchen. And for that, you have what we would say are our essentials there for the deep pour clean. Right, the glove and the ENJO fill. But then, because we are mucky puppies during the week, we need something just to wipe around with, quick wipe around cloth. Remember, darker fibre, deeper clean. This is my quick wipe around. And then the same fibre as this, all right, here, but with an even deeper fibre on the other side as a sponge. Little scrubber, which I love to use in the sink and stainless steel, and an amazing tea towel. So often we see you and off you go with that, and you are now cleaning for 66p a week. But there are other things there as well in this miracle area of miracleness. Okay, so let's start with, well, this one. I have to say, this is one of my favourite things that ENJO do, and I think it is a little bit underrated. This is the kitchen wand. Now, you will notice if you have, all right, a bathroom wand, that this is a different shape to this one. So this one, which has the bathroom wand fibre on, right, which we sell you to do your loo and all those hard to reach places in the bathroom, is not going to fit your kitchen fibre. So the short scrubby one, if you've ever taken them both off and put them in the wash at the same time and they come out and you go, oh, I don't know which is which. This one has a little somewhere where you can get a little bit of pressure with your thumb. All right, and why would you need that, you ask? Tell me, who has one of these? If you have one of these, let me know. All right, I would love to know. Best thing ever. I love it too. Right, anyone else but Rachel Henderson who has one of these? It is, as Rachel said, awesome for pans. All right, because it gets right into the bottom of the pan. I can use this. I can use my kitchen sponge, right, and get into all of those corners, but trying to get right into where the pan and the base are, it's quite tricky. Right, but this is awesome. I also love to use it on to do the sink, right? So where all of our tea bag stains, because we're quite appalling and chuck them straight in the sink, then all of that with a little bit of marble paste, take all of that off. And I was given this very handy tip by another client, but I love it and I've done it ever since, it's fantastic for doing the bottom of your oven because you can just get the leverage all the way in rather than me having to reach all the way in. I hope you like using it, Liz Gibson. I think it's awesome. Right, you can use it with marble paste. It's just fantastic. If you haven't got one of these, I would really encourage you to think about it. If you still have one of those little plastic brushes by the edge of your sink, then this is what replaces it. Exactly. None of that porridge yuck, which I can't stand. It's one thing that makes me go, oh. Right, so pops off and it goes in the wash. I probably wash mine about, I don't know, once every couple of weeks. Depends how manky it has been. But it is just an awesome little fibre and I think gets a little bit overlooked. So I wanted to highlight it today and just remind you that it exists. So the whole set is 17 and if you had lost this, it's just £5, and if you need a new one of these, then these are 12. So I have 2 of these and 1 of these, if that makes sense. And I think when you have one, you'll realise quite how handy it is. So that's my first little thing, kitchen wand set. This actually, if I was allowed to just have a repeated product every week, might be my product of the week quite a lot of weeks. For all the reasons that Rachel said. All right, so soup pans, porridge pans. Rebecca has got a fascination with having scrambled eggs at the moment. And I am forever in finding her frying and doing something with a pan. So all of that little grot as well, straight off. All right, haven't got one? I would encourage you to consider getting one of those in your ENJO arsenal. Right, so then what else do we have? And do we need to double up on anything in the kitchen? Right, we'll come back to that. So let's then talk. You might have had one that looks like this. All right, and I'm going to tell you a story about this one. This is our old fruit and veggie cloth. All right, and this is what it looks like now. So it's just gone from yellow to green, and of course now it has our super lifespan indicator on it. So you know exactly when it's done. So I'm going to tell you about a little story about this and then I'm going to show you what it does. So when I started working with ENJO, I started off building up my kit. So this is what, oh my goodness, 6.5 years ago. Doesn't time fly? And Emily was going off to nursery school or P1 or somewhere, and she wanted to wash her play piece. Oh, what a faff. So I got the apple, right? I showed, well, actually it was a pear. I showed Willing by shoving it under the tap because that's surely how you wash fruit. And then I gave it to her and she said, so she must have been a bit older, I want to use the fruit and veggie cloth. Oh, right. Trundle, trundle, trundle. Go and get it out of my case. And I then showed Willing by giving her the cloth and a spray bottle. All right, so she sprayed away. She put it over her pear. Guess what I saw? The cloth was black. I had just done my normal mummy proficient cleaning of shoving it underneath the tap, but holy moly, I could not believe the amount of dirt that came off what I thought I had already washed. So then, of course, I became fixated with washing everything because I wanted to see what else would come off. Aha! I know you do that too. You have a little bit of ENJO magic and then you want to clean everything because it's so exciting. Tell me you're not. I know you do. Right, so this one here, I'm just going to show you. If you've never used one of these, then if you look back at one of my earlier lives, or if you don't have to sit through it all, but there's one there about the dirty dozen. And I was talking about the amount of pesticides and chemicals that are stuck on the outside of our veg. And we were talking about some of those and our fruit that are particularly bad for that. And also we spoke about the ones that were a lot better. Okay, but let's just take our communal garden apple. If you've seen this, it's just going to act as an aide-memoire. Okay, so 2 apples. Remember my story with Emily? I bunged it under the tap, thought it was all good. But what our fibres do, and the same that happens with our fruit and veggie fibres, is that it's going to clean off those pesticides by that deep pore action. We try to buy organic fruit. Well, at the moment, I just try to buy any fruit. Let's be honest, all right? Because every time I go to Co-op, there is not a lot there. But I do try generally to buy organic stuff because I'd like to limit the amount of pesticides and stuff that comes in the house. But I don't know who's touched it on the way. I don't know what gas has been pumped in with it to keep it alive on the way here. And right now, when I go and buy all my fruit and veg loose, I don't know who else has touched it. So the best way that I can deal with anything is just to give it a clean. So I cleaned it with that side, and then I can just dry it. So if we have a look, you know, when there was you might have seen there was a spate of videos that went on a couple of years ago when people were pouring boiling water over the top of apples because it would show you the amount of wax that had been put on to keep it alive. Don't you remember those? But I know as well that if I take an apple, even if it's waxed, and then if I clean it with ENJO, it'll get that wax layer off. So it's fantastic for cleaning like your lemons and stuff. Can you see that this one here that I've cleaned is oh, I can't get you in the right place, is remarkably more shiny, all right, than that one. And actually, if you have a listen, right, it is literally squeaky clean. It's amazing, isn't it? So I can do exactly the same with my carrots. In fact, everybody's going to need one of these come harvest time because we've all been prolifically growing vegetables like never before. And so what we want to do is to be able to clean them. And if you remember, we spoke about in that Dirty Dozen one that all of the nutrients, a lot of the nutrients are just under the skin. So why do I want to peel all those off when I can just clean it? So you can see there my 2 carrots. You can see the one that I'm trying to get it out of the light so it doesn't look like I'm glaringly trying to cheat on you. All right, so this one you can see that I've cleaned and this one that I haven't. And it will just trap all of the gunk in there. And what's been really interesting now is that I've met loads of people who have said, I never used to be able to digest pears. But if I clean them with this, it just takes that roughness off the skin and I can eat them all. It's cool, isn't it? Right, so another little fibre that I think is a little bit overlooked sometimes, but for me actually quite an essential, right, and one that we use all the time. Now, what used to happen was the Freer household would go out shopping en masse. No more, but we would go out shopping together because I hate doing it. So I used to take the girls because if I was going to suffer, I wanted them to suffer too. And then when we came home, the girls' jobs were to clean the fruit and veg. And that is still their job because there's no good me shoving it in the fridge and then trying to clean it when it comes out one at a time. It's not going to happen. Not in this household. Someone will grab it and then they will go and eat it. So I would recommend, it's a bit tricky, you can't really do it with carrots because it will bruise the skin. But things like your apples and, well, anything else. I even clean like the outside of banana skins now. Again, same reason I don't know who's touched it. And I clean the outside of an avocado. Same reason, because when I slice through it, I don't want to slice through all of that bacteria. So if you don't have one of these little herberts, £18. And I would imagine it's also going to last you longer than 3 years because I'm not using it loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. I do wash it maybe once a week. If it's got really gunky after doing new potatoes, I'll probably bung it through in the wash. But awesome little fibre. All right, really great. Don't overlook it. Right, so I was saying, what else might I want to double up on in the kitchen? So things I do think that I would always want more than one of would be our all-purpose cloth, and I have 2 tea towels. So I probably have 3 of these actually, and I have 2 of these, because this one I'm using all day, every day, and particularly at the moment everybody is baking. It's amazing at picking up flour and stuff like that, but therefore I am washing them a bit more. So the zone pack gives you the essentials. I do think there are some items that are beneficial from doubling up on. Right, now this next one, I have to say, I didn't use for many years because I didn't have anything to shine. It used to look like this. Okay, so it was just a paler version, and it now looks like this. It's very shiny, very shimmery to feel, and it's our cutlery and glass ENJO. Who has one of these? All right, if you have one of these, give me a thumbs up or let me know. If you have one languishing in a cupboard, you can let me know that too. And I'm going to talk about what you might use that for. So if you have a look at my glass, can you see it's just a little bit cloudy there? And all you need to do with this one, oh, look at all your thumbs up. I love seeing that. All right. Now, some people just say that they get this out and they use it at Christmas because that's when they're setting the table. Look at that. It's just awesome. This is going to take off all of those thumbprints and watermarks and stuff like that. And you can use it a little bit damp. I have lots of people in self-caterings and B&Bs, so not long now till you can get reopened. And I know that lots of people use their cutlery and glass ENJO for just wiping over all the cutlery when it's come out of the dishwasher, because that will just sort all of your watermarks out. So it's finer than using a tea towel, and it brings a really, really amazing shine. And if it was very marked, if your watermarks were quite pronounced on your glasses or on your cutlery, you could just make it a little bit damp and it would just cut through. Now, the other place that you can use it, looks good, doesn't it? All right, who wouldn't want a little bit of bling? The other place that you can use it, and when we first started with ENJO in the UK, it was often sold for this purpose, but I only discovered that recently. If you have a really high gloss kitchen, it was sold as well to help buff it up. And I think our new ENJO is really superior to the old one. But if you I sometimes if my ENJO is in the wash, the only place really that I have shiny that's in my kitchen is the front of the oven. And because I sit on the other side on the breakfast bar, I see all the smudges and all of those bits and pieces. So if there's that going on and all I've got going around the kitchen at that time is my all-purpose cloth, this is amazing for just really bringing out the shine on the front of my oven or anywhere else that's high gloss. So if you have one that's languishing in the cupboard, you're only using it at Christmas, all right, just think, what else could I use this for that I could really get some use out? So is there anywhere else that anyone else is using it? I would love to hear. All right, but I find if you've got any cutlery marks or if you've got glasses, watermarks, water stains, really amazing at all of that. Okay, so this one here, that is £24. Again, I think you're going to see a really good innings with that because you're not going to use it as frequently as you are your Duo glove and your ENJO, but I really love it. And now that I'm using it more and more, because I'm using it for the front of my oven, then I would say I'm really quite pleased that I'm getting such a good innings out of it. So small. Nice. Right, it hasn't got the absorbency of your normal ENJO, so it is a much finer finish, but I would say get one of those into action. Right, can't believe it. Only 5 minutes left. So, what else am I going to tell you about? Well, we've spoken about our zone pack, which has our Duo glove in. I also know that some of you, all right, like to have that same deep pour action during the week as well. So I'm quite happy that I'm using my all-purpose cloth during the week, even though I must say at the moment I am using this one that's in the taster pack just a little bit more, just because the circumstances we're in, because everybody's in the house, so everything's getting just well used a lot more. But we do also have a Duo cloth that's exactly the same fibres as the glove, and I know some of you really love that for washing up with. Now, I've always washed up using this one and my sponge, but I know that there are some real keen advocates of this one for washing up and just a wipe around during the week. So if that's you, then just remember that this one still exists. I love it now because it's an exact mirror of our duo glove, so it gives you just the same power, it gives you just the same grease pickup that you might want during the week. Okay, so this one here, £18, and so that might be worth considering if you're just kind of limping through the week a little bit, that you want to do something a bit deeper than your all-purpose cloth, you just feel that your kitchen could benefit from that, then that might be worth a consideration as well. Okay, so now I haven't got time to do all of the living zone, but what I am going to talk about is just the lens cloths. And I think because today, like, everybody had their suntan lotion on in Orkney because the weather was so amazing. But it also meant that everybody then had really super smeary glasses because they were pushing up and moving them around. And my girls came in to use the iPad screen. All right, I know you're getting my light there, but can you see just the amount of beautiful fingerprints all over that? And I just wanted to bring it so I could illustrate how good the lens cloths are. Now, occasionally, some of you might have one that's a bit bigger, all right? And we've done that as high-tech cloth, all right? So one that's a bit bigger, and that has come out at Christmas and things like that. You can at any time buy 3. I love them too, Bev, they're amazing. Buy 3 in a little tin. Who would love one of those? I love a little tin. And you can just keep them all super safe in there. And this is something that we can use dry, all right, or like at the moment with my iPad, because it is so mucky, well, I'll do it dry, and then I might just make it a little bit damp if it's just seems to be, easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so let me show you. You can probably now see the half that I've cleaned, top half, not bottom half, people. All right, so you can see the top half that I've cleaned with my lens cloth, and the bottom half, all of the yuck that's still stuck on it. Amazing, isn't it? All right, so just a really easy way to clean. And I know some of you say, well, what do I do with them? They've been stuck in my bag for years. Can I put them in the wash? Absolutely, you can. All right, put them in the wash, in your laundry bag, just like the rest of your fibres. And you will know a time when they're coming to the end of their life because they just won't absorb as easily. I did have one out earlier, but I can't see it now. It was a darker, used to be a slightly darker yellow, and I can just tell when it's not working because I'm washing it more, bringing it back into use, but it's just not getting that grease cut up as quickly as that is. Okay, so this is what we are looking for. We want it to pick up that amount of greasiness from the top effortlessly, but amazing right now for your sunglasses, and then just get them into wash afterwards. But we know that iPads and touch screens just work so much more effectively if they are clean. All right, so that's all you need to do. All right, you can see there, mirror image. Hello, look, that's the blue sky of Orkney, you lucky people. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so if you haven't got any lens cloths, then I would say they are an awesome investment. 3 for £15, little tin, such a great prezi for people as well, all right? Because they just are, if you're a glasses wearer, second to none. As Bev was saying, they're just incredible. And because it's a sort of ENJO thing, I really don't think my glasses steam up in quite the same way as they used to when I used to just clean them on my t-shirt. Right, so they really do work effectively. Great for screens. I use it on my computer as well. And so a really great little addition in. Right. I think that's enough for today. So we've had a look just at the fibres, the additional fibres that there are outside our zone pack in the kitchen, and just the lens cloths because I couldn't resist. Right, remember that we still have some super offers on for this month. It's not too late to get hold of these two, all right, for the weekend. So we've got Father's Day, amazing. I love this colour. Charcoal duo glove great for the fake tanners as well, just saying. All right, and also the outdoor sponge and the outdoor ENJO. So I was kind of toying with doing the front of the stove today, but you should see the state of our lounge. So we're in here instead. All right, and then we also have some additional skin care that we have, and we also have that great taster kit that I was talking about earlier, the bit that I'd used in the bathroom today to get rid of Rebecca. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I noticed the difference too, Bev, when I am using the bottom of my top. It just doesn't seem to work as well. My goodness, who would have guessed, hey? Remember, it's not too late. If you want to get your hand on our really super combi wiper, you can get this as a seasonal host offer, all right, for this month. So if you've got some friends that you think would benefit from seeing ENJO in action, then we can do that through this medium, or we can do it on Zoom and all chat together. And we also have a little thank you for you if you do that this month. Okay, but how nice to spend half an hour with all of you. And I hope you have a really super week. And remember, if you're an ENJO client and you want to be part of my VIP closed group, you just need to ping me a message and I can invite you into that. And remember, all of these things exist on YouTube as well. So if you're suffering, you know, like some people say that they're not managing to sleep very well in lockdown, then you have an instant cure for insomnia. Just need to go back. You've got 14 episodes to catch up on. That's binge watching right there. Right, have a fantastic week. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you next Monday. I'm looking forward to it already. Cheers. Bye.